The forbidden crash, the sky burned red. A streak of fire cut through the clouds above the jungle trees. Animals ran. Birds screamed and scattered. The fireball crashed deep into the sacred forest where no one was allowed to go. Especially not when Vera stood still on a branch holding her spear. The fireball had come from the stars. She saw it fall. Her heart beat fast. She had never seen a starship crash before. Something fell, she whispered. She was not supposed to leave the village, alone, but she had always been different. While others trained with blades and rules, Vera liked the quiet trees, the stories of the past, stories of men, before the ban. But that was a long time ago. Now her people believed men brought war. Their planet had not seen a male in over 300 years. It was law. Any male found on their land must be hunted and killed. But something told Vera this was different. She moved fast through the forest, barefoot and silent. Smoke curled through the air. Trees were broken. Metal scraps lay across the ground like bones. Then she saw it. The wreck. A small human ship, broken in half, lay between tall stones. It hissed with heat. Vera crouched low and crept closer. Inside the ship, something moved. She raised her spear, ready to strike. Then she saw him, a man. His clothes were torn. Blood ran down his face. He tried to move but fell back with a groan. Vera froze. This couldn't be real. A real human male? Her mind screamed to run, to alert the others, to follow the law. But the man was not a threat. He was weak, broken. He looked at her with wide, tired eyes. "Please," he whispered. "Help." Vera's hands shook. She should kill him, or leave him to die. But something inside her refused. She lowered her spear. "Who are you?" she asked. "Jack," he said, barely breathing. "Pilot from Earth." His voice was soft, full of pain. She looked around. No one had followed her. Not yet. If her sisters found out, Jack would be killed. No questions, no mercy. But he was just a man, not a monster, not a warrior. He needed help. Vera made her decision. "Can you walk?" she asked. He tried. His legs gave out. She grabbed his arm and pulled it over her shoulder. "We must go," she said, "before they come." Jack didn't speak. He just nodded. Vera led him away from the crash, deeper into the forest, past the old trees and the singing, stones, to a hidden cave she had found years ago. It was dark and cold, but safe. She helped him sit against the wall. He coughed, and blood stained his lips. "Stay here. Rest. I'll bring water." Jack closed his eyes. Vera ran to the river, filled a leaf bowl with clean water, and returned. He drank slowly. "Why are you helping me?" he asked. Vera looked at him. "I don't know," she said. "But I had to." Outside, the wind carried voices. Patrols were coming. Others had seen the crash too. Time was running out. But for now, Jack was safe. And Vera had just broken the one law that ruled her world. The hidden cave. The cave was dark. Cool air brushed against Jack's skin. His body ached. His side burned, where metal had torn through him. But he was alive, and he didn't know why. He opened his eyes slowly. A shape moved near the entrance. Not a beast, not a soldier. Vera, the alien girl who saved him. She stepped inside quietly, her long silver hair tied back, her eyes scanning the forest outside before she looked at him. "You're awake," she said. Where am I?" Jack's voice was rough, dry. "Safe," Vera said, but her voice held fear. "For now." She handed him a bowl made of bark. Water. He drank it fast. It tasted cold and clean. "You shouldn't be here," Vera whispered. "If the High Circle finds out, they'll send hunters. My people, they don't forgive." Jack leaned back against the stone wall. "I didn't mean to crash here." Vera looked at him closely. "What were you doing above our sky?" "I was on patrol, test flight, solo mission. Then something hit my ship. Everything went black. Then you fell into the only place in the galaxy where men are not allowed to breathe, Vera said. Jack looked around. The cave was small, hidden between rocks and vines. Quiet. But he could still hear distant sounds, birds, wind, and something else. Voices. They were far but getting closer. Vera stepped closer and knelt beside him. You don't understand what this place is, she said. 300 years ago, this world was full of men, and war, weapons, death. My ancestors banished all males. They said peace only came when the last man was gone. Jack frowned. That's not fair. Fair doesn't matter here, Vera said. Only survival. Outside, the sounds grew louder. A sharp call echoed through the trees. 3 notes, sharp and clear. A scout signal. Vera's eyes widened. They're searching the forest, she whispered. They know something fell. Maybe they've already found your ship. Jack tried to sit up, but pain stabbed through his chest. He groaned and fell back. You need to stay quiet. If they hear you, it's over, Vera said. She looked around. The cave was too open. Not safe enough. We have to move, she said. Deeper. I can't walk, Jack said. Vera didn't hesitate. She pulled his arm over her shoulder again. Then I'll carry you. She helped him up, step by painful step, through the narrow tunnel that led deeper into the rock. They passed old roots, dripping stone, and ancient carvings on the walls. Stories of war, fire, and banishment. Jack looked at the drawings. Your people fought humans? Vera shook her head. No, they fought each other. Men led the armies. Women ended them. Jack didn't answer. Finally, they reached a small hidden chamber, dry, tight, hard to find. Vera helped him sit. We'll stay. Here tonight, she said. Jack looked at her. You could have let me die, why didn't you? Vera didn't answer at first. She looked away. Because when I saw your face, you didn't look like the enemy, she said. You looked human. Jack tried to smile. I am. Then suddenly, footsteps. Close. Vera pressed her finger to his lips. Don't move. Don't breathe. Shadows passed. Outside the cave, 2 alien women walked by, tall and strong, weapons in hand. They wore the mark of the patrol, the Seekers. Nothing here, one said. We'll check near the river, the other replied. They moved on. Jack exhaled. Vera sat down next to him, her breath shaking. They're getting closer, she said. They'll search every rock, every tree. They won't stop until they find you. Then, what do we do? Jack asked. Vera looked at him, then at the carved walls. We run. Far from here. To the old ruins. Ruins? Long ago, before the exile, there was a place where humans and my kind lived together. Forgotten now. But maybe safe. Jack nodded slowly. Why are you helping me, Vera? She paused. Maybe because I'm tired of being told what to fear. Outside, the night fell. Stars blinked through the leaves above the cave, and deep in the heart of a forbidden world, a broken human and a rebel alien girl made a quiet promise. They would survive. Together. The patrol comes, the forest was quiet but not safe. Shadows moved between trees. Soft footsteps brushed against fallen leaves. Sharp eyes searched the ground. The patrol had arrived. Vera crouched at the cave's entrance, holding her breath. Her hand gripped her spear tightly. The sound of boots on stone echoed too close. They were here. The Seekers. The elite patrol team of her village. They were trained to track, to hunt, to kill. Especially intruders. Especially males. Inside the cave. Jack sat against the cold stone wall, struggling to stay awake. The pain in his ribs was worse. His side burned every time he breathed. But he stayed silent. He knew now. If they found him, it would not be a prison. It would be death. Vera slipped back into the inner chamber and knelt beside him. They're close, she whispered. 2. Maybe 3. They're checking the ridge. Jack's voice was low. Can we run? Vera shook her head. No. They'll hear us. We stay quiet, and if they come inside, I'll distract them. No, Jack said quickly. They'll hurt you. Vera gave him a small smile. Not if I lie well enough. Outside, one of the patrols stopped. A voice called out, strong and cold. Vera, are you out here? Jack froze. Vera's eyes widened. It was her sister, Captain Mira. Vera! The voice came again, sharper now. Vera whispered fast, You must stay hidden, no matter what happens. She stepped out of the cave slowly and walked toward the voice. Her heart pounded like war drums. The wind carried the scent of metal and sweat. Soldiers. Mira stood tall, surrounded by 2 warriors. Her armor gleamed under the fading light. What are you doing this deep? Mira asked. Vera bowed slightly. Scouting. I thought I saw the crash trail this way. Mira's eyes narrowed. You came without backup? Yes, Vera said. I wanted to prove myself. Mira crossed her arms. Did you find anything? Vera shook her head. Only broken trees. No sign of survivors. Mira turned to her soldiers. Keep searching. Check the river bend. The 2 warriors walked away. Mira stepped closer to Vera. You're lying. Vera's heart skipped. What are you hiding? Mira asked. Her voice colder now. Your face gives you away. Nothing, Vera said quickly. I swear. Mira leaned in. If you know something, if you're hiding something, it could mean exile. Vera forced herself to meet her sister's gaze. I would never betray our people, she said. Mira stared at her for a long moment. Then she stepped back. Be careful, she said. There are whispers in the village. Some say the crash was human. If that's true, he won't live long. Vera watched as her sister walked away and disappeared into the trees. Only when the forest fell silent again did she return to the cave. Jack looked at her, eyes filled with worry. She knew, he said. Yes, Vera replied. But she didn't find you. For now, Jack said. But how long can we stay here? Vera sat beside him, breathing hard. Not long. Once they search the cave, it's over. Jack looked down. You should leave. Me. Vera turned sharply. No. I'm only making this worse for you, Jack said. If they catch us, I don't care, Vera said. Her voice shook. I saw the way she looked at me, like I'm already guilty, so it doesn't matter anymore. Jack reached out slowly and touched her hand. Thank you, he said. Outside, the patrol call sounded again. 4 sharp whistles. They had found something. Vera stood quickly. They're near your ship, she said. If they find proof, they'll track us here. Jack struggled to sit up. Then we go. You can't walk far, Vera said. You're still bleeding. Jack looked at her, eyes full of pain and fire. Then help me. But I won't stay here and get you killed. They packed quickly. Vera wrapped leaves and herbs into a small pouch and tied it to her belt. Jack leaned on a stick she carved for him, as a walking aid. The stars were out now. Vera helped Jack through the trees, following old paths only she knew. Every step was slow. Every breath was danger. Behind them, the forest whispered, and above them, war drums echoed faintly from the direction of the village. The hunt had truly begun. The healer's trial. Vera's feet were bleeding. She didn't care. Her focus was Jack. He leaned on her shoulder, barely walking, his steps slow and shaky. The jungle pressed close around them, thick with roots, mist, and danger. Every shadow felt like a watcher, every sound like a hunter. Jack's face was pale, too pale. He hadn't spoken in 10 minutes. Vera stopped and helped him sit under a wide tree. You're getting worse, she said, kneeling beside him. Jack winced as he tried to breathe. It's inside, burning. She knew what that meant. The wound from the crash wasn't healing, it was infected and deep. He needed medicine, not herbs, not leaves. Real medicine. From the village. Vera looked toward the hills where the soft glow of their sacred fire still lit the night sky. Returning meant one thing: danger. Not just for her, but for him. If anyone saw her sneaking around the healer's hut, questions would come, and if they followed her back to Jack? No, she wouldn't let that happen. She made her decision. Stay here, she said. Hide. Don't move. Don't make a sound. Jack opened his eyes slightly. Where are you going? To save your life, she whispered. Then she disappeared into the trees. The village gates were guarded by 2 warriors. Vera knew them both. They would never let her through at this hour. But she knew something they didn't. The river path. A hidden tunnel carved through stone, only used by scouts and children playing games. Most thought it had collapsed years ago. Vera knew better. She crawled through the moss-covered entrance, her hands and knees scraping on stone. She moved like a shadow, inch by inch, until the tunnel opened near the training grounds. The village was quiet. Torches burned along the main path. The healer's hut stood near the far end, just beyond the sleeping quarters. Vera kept to the shadows. Every step was a risk. If anyone saw her here, out of uniform, in the middle of the night. But she didn't stop. Jack didn't have time. She reached the healer's hut and slipped inside. The room smelled of roots and smoke. Shelves were full of old books, jars of powder, strange tools, and glowing herbs. She found what she needed fast: blue root serum, fire leaf bandages, and silver dust. All forbidden outside the village. Her hands were shaking. She turned to leave. Stop. The voice froze her blood. She turned slowly. Captain Mira stood in the doorway, her blade drawn, her eyes full of fury. What are you doing? She demanded. Vera said nothing. Why are you stealing medicine? Who is it for? Vera gripped the pouch in her hand. She could lie. She could run. But Mira was faster, stronger. There was no escape. He's hurt, Vera said finally. He needs help. Mira blinked. Who? The man, Vera said. The human who crashed. The silence was cold. You found him? Mira stepped forward. You kept him alive? Vera stood tall. Yes. Mira's face twisted. With anger. You've broken the law. You've betrayed our people. No, Vera said. I've remembered who we were before the fear, before the hate. Mira raised her sword. You'll come with me. Now. Vera didn't move. If you take me, he dies. Mira's hand trembled. Her eyes searched Vera's face. Then something broke inside her. Something old. Something quiet. Where is he? Mira asked. Far. You won't find him, Vera said. But I swear, he's not a threat. He's alone. Lost. Hurt. Mira lowered the sword, slowly. If the High Circle finds out, they'll kill you both. Vera stepped past her. Then don't let them find out. And she ran. Jack was worse when she returned. His lips were dry. His skin was cold. Vera crushed the blue root serum into a paste and spread it over the wound. He cried out, shaking, but then his breath calmed. She wrapped his side with fire leaf, bandages, and sprinkled silver dust to stop the spread of the sickness. Then she waited, for hours. The sun began to rise. Birds chirped, light slipped through the trees. Jack opened his eyes slowly. You came back, he said. Vera smiled. Of course I did. But behind her eyes, worry grew. Her sister had seen her. The secret wouldn't last forever. And when the circle learned the truth, everything would burn. The discovery. The sun was high. Too high. It burned through the forest leaves and lit every shadow. The birds had stopped singing. The wind carried no songs. Something was wrong. Vera felt it in her bones. She helped Jack drink from the stream. His skin was no longer cold. The infection was fading. His eyes were clearer now. You look better, she said softly. I feel like I got hit by a mountain, Jack replied, grinning weakly. Vera smiled back, but her eyes were full of worry. She hadn't slept since the night she returned from the village. Too much could go wrong. Too many eyes. Too many whispers. And Mira, her sister, had let her go once. But silence has a limit. Jack looked at her. You okay? I don't know, she admitted. Just then, a sound cut through the trees. Snap. Not an animal. A footstep. Vera turned sharply, spear in hand, heart racing. She motioned for Jack to stay down. Another step. Then a voice. I knew it. Vera froze. Mira stood between two warriors, tall, armored, furious. Her voice shook the leaves. You lied to me, Vera. You said he was far. You said you would stay away. Instead, you've been hiding him, feeding him, healing him. Vera stepped in front of Jack. He's not a threat. He's a man, Mira shouted. His kind brought war, death. You know what the old laws say. Jack pushed himself to stand, holding onto a tree. I didn't ask to come here. My ship was hit. I crashed, that's all. The two warriors raised their spears. One stepped forward. Back away, she warned. By the Circle's law, this male is to be captured and brought to judgment. Vera didn't move. You'll have to go through me, she said. Then so be it, the warrior growled. But Mira raised a hand. No. The two warriors stopped. Mira looked at her sister. Her voice was softer now, but colder. You've made your choice, and now the Circle will make theirs. She nodded at her warriors. They moved in fast. Jack didn't fight. He couldn't. His body was still weak. They chained his hands and forced him to his knees. Vera ran to him. No, please don't hurt him. Mira grabbed her by the arm and pulled her back. You will both come with us. Jack looked at Vera, eyes full of regret. I'm sorry, he whispered. Don't be, Vera said. We still have time. But deep inside, she wasn't sure. The walk to the village felt like a march of shame. People stared, gasped. Some screamed. A man. Real. Alive. Walking through their sacred ground. It was a nightmare to them, a curse. Some threw stones. Others prayed to the sky, begging the spirits to forgive this horror. Vera walked beside Jack unchained but judged. Every face turned cold when they looked at her. Traitor, fool, outcast. The high circle waited. 5 elders, cloaked in black and gold, sat on stone chairs under the sacred flame. Their eyes were ancient, their words law. Mira stepped forward. She bowed low. The male has been captured, she said. He was hidden by my sister. She disobeyed the code. The oldest elder raised her hand. Bring them forward. Jack was pushed to his knees again. Vera stood beside him. The elder's voice echoed. You, male, what is your name? Jack, he said. How did you come to our world? By accident. My ship was hit. I never meant to land here. The elders whispered among themselves. And you, Vera, the oldest elder said. Why did you break the law? Vera looked them in the eyes. Because he was dying. And if he had lived, what would you have done? Vera's voice was firm. Protected him. Gasps echoed around the chamber. You would protect a man over your own people? Another elder asked. No, Vera said. I would protect life over hate. The oldest elder stood. The circle has heard enough. The law is clear. She raised her hand. The male shall be executed at first light. Jack bowed his head. Vera screamed, No! And Vera, the elder continued, shall be exiled for treason. Soldiers grabbed them both. Jack looked up at Vera. I guess this is it, he said, smiling sadly. But Vera's eyes burned with fire. Not yet, she whispered. I'm not done fighting. And as the cell door slammed shut behind them, a storm was already growing in her heart. She would not let him die, not without a war. The trial of silence. The prison cell was carved from stone, old as the mountains. The air was cold, thick with dust and silence. Only the wind whispered through the cracks, carrying the sounds of drums in the distance. They were calling the people, calling them to witness a judgment. Jack sat on the floor, his hands still bound, in silver cuffs. His body ached, his side still burned, but not as bad as before. The worst pain now was inside. He could hear the people chanting outside. Justice. 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 He looked at Vera, who paced the small room like a wolf in a cage. Her hands were clenched, her jaw tight, her eyes full of fire. "They're going to kill you," she said quietly. Jack nodded. "I know." Vera slammed her fist against the wall. "This is wrong." Jack gave a small, tired smile. "You saved me once. That's more than most ever get." Vera turned to him. "Once isn't enough." Outside, the prison door opened. Mira entered. Alone. She didn't wear armor this time. Only a long black cloak, the mark of a captain in mourning. She looked at her sister. Then at Jack. "It's time," she said. "Don't do this," Vera said. "He's done nothing." "The circle has spoken," Mira replied. Her voice was heavy. "They've called for the trial of silence." Vera gasped. "That hasn't been used in generations." Mira nodded. "And now, they want to see if the old ways still speak truth." Jack frowned. "What is it?" Mira looked at him. "You will face judgment in the trial grounds. You may not speak. No words, no defense. Only your actions will decide if you live or die." "And if he fails?" Vera asked. "He dies before the sun sets," Mira said softly. She turned and left. Vera fell to her knees beside Jack. "You can't go through with this," she said. "You're still weak." "I don't have a choice," Jack replied. "But maybe actions speak." Louder than words here, he reached for her hand. "Thank you, Vera, for everything." But Vera was already thinking of something else. A way out. A way to break the trial before it could break him. The trial grounds were silent. The crowd sat in rings around a deep pit. Torches burned in the stone walls. The elders sat on their high seats, watching without blinking. Jack stood alone in the center. His hands were unchained now, but he was surrounded by 4 hunters, each holding long spears tipped with electric fire. The trial master raised a black staff. "You are forbidden to speak," she said. "You will be tested by the ancient path. Survive, and the gods may spare you. Fall, and the gods have judged you unworthy." She struck the staff on the ground. The gates opened, and the beasts came. They were not like the animals Jack had seen before. These were sacred war beasts kept only for this trial. 2 of them, thick with muscle, covered in bone armor, their eyes glowing red. The crowd gasped. Jack stood still. The first beast charged. Jack rolled aside just in time, grabbing a broken spear from the ground. He spun, slashing toward the second beast. It missed, but just barely. The hunters surrounded the pit, watching closely, not helping, not interfering. Vera stood behind the crowd, her heart pounding. She had to do something. Jack stumbled back as one beast lunged. Its claws scraped, his arm drawing blood. He cried out, but didn't speak. His silence was the test. He gritted his teeth, grabbed a rock, and slammed it into the creature's skull. The beast howled, staggered, then turned again. The crowd was silent now, watching, unsure. Then Vera moved. She climbed the wall high above the pit. People saw her, some shouted, elders stood, but she didn't care. "Stop this," she screamed. "This is madness." An elder raised a hand. "You break the sacred order. Your order is broken," she shouted. "This man is not evil. He has done nothing but survive. If that is a crime, then none of us deserve to live." Jack knocked the spear into the ground and used it to vault over one beast. It crashed into the other, and they both tumbled. Blood ran from his face, his arms, his side. But he stood. The crowd gasped, not because of the beast, but because Jack didn't run. He turned and helped the wounded beast to stand. Vera watched, stunned. Jack placed his hand on the creature's side and backed away slowly, showing peace. The beast growled, then turned and limped toward the gate. Silence. Total silence. Then, one voice. Mira. He passed. Another voice followed. An elder. He showed restraint, mercy, courage. The head elder stood. Let the trial be ended, the crowd whispered. Jack fell to one knee, exhausted. Vera ran to him, dropped beside him, and held him close. He looked at her. Did I pass? She smiled through tears. Yes. But the storm was not over yet, because some in the crowd looked afraid, and afraid people often choose war, the last choice. The sun was setting. Gold light poured over the village walls, casting long shadows across the trial grounds. Jack sat in silence, his body bruised and bleeding, but still alive. Vera stayed close, her eyes scanning every face in the crowd. Some looked shocked, some looked moved, but most looked afraid. They won't let us walk away, Jack whispered. Vera nodded. Not all of them. The high circle sat motionless, 5 elders cloaked in dark robes, their expressions unreadable. Finally, the eldest stood. You passed the trial of silence, she said. You showed strength and mercy. That has not been seen in a man for generations. A low murmur spread across the crowd. And yet, the elder continued, your very presence has broken a sacred peace. Many still believe your kind brings ruin. She looked at Vera. And you. Your actions defied the law. You protected the forbidden, helped the enemy. And now, you stand before us expecting mercy? Vera stepped forward. No, she said clearly. I stand expecting change. Gasps echoed. Our laws were born from pain, Vera continued. But pain is not the only teacher. Look at him. He risked his life. He could have killed those beasts, but he didn't. He showed us what we forgot: compassion, kindness, courage without violence. She looked around. If we kill him now, we go back to fear, back to silence. But if we choose something new, maybe we find peace again. The elder looked at the others. They spoke in hushed voices. The village waited, holding its breath. Then the youngest elder stood. We vote. Hands were raised. 2 for exile, 2 for freedom. The eldest paused, then lowered her hand. Let the man live. The crowd exploded. Some shouted in anger, some in joy. Others stood frozen in disbelief. Jack looked at Vera. What now? Vera took his hand. We leave. They packed quickly. No one tried to stop them, but no one offered help either. The air was heavy, uncertain. Mira met them at the edge of the jungle. She didn't speak, didn't smile, but she handed Vera a wrapped package: food, water, healing cloth. You're my sister, she said softly. You always will be. Vera nodded. Thank you for not stopping us. Mira looked at Jack. Don't give her a reason to regret this. Jack gave a small smile. I won't. They walked into the forest. Behind them, the village faded into shadow. Ahead, the world opened. Days passed. They found the old ruins Vera had once mentioned, hidden deep in the mountains, covered in vines and silence. Old stone walls, broken towers, forgotten symbols. It was once a place where men and women lived together long before the exile. Now, it would be home. Jack built a shelter from old parts of his ship. Vera hunted, gathered food, and explored the ruins. They worked together. No commands, no fear, only choice. At night, they sat by a fire. Jack looked up at the stars. Think they'll ever come back? Who? Vera asked. Your people. To visit, to see. Vera was quiet for a moment. Maybe. Someday. If they grow tired of hate. Jack nodded. And if more humans come? Vera smiled slightly. Then I'll hide you again. They both laughed. But deep down they knew. This was more than survival. This was the beginning of something new. Not just between them, but between two worlds. And maybe, just maybe one day, a forgotten planet once ruled by fear would remember how to hope.